It's a little dark where I'm videoing, but we're going to be making these little cuties today. I was asked to show how to make them with directional fabric. So here we go. Okay, so what you're going to need is, just like the previous video, your towel, of course. And I hope you can hear me okay because my mic is up here. But anyway, you're going to need a 7.5 wide by 15 long piece of fabric. Okay, so you're going to need 7.5 wide by 15 long. And then you're going to need an 8 by 8 piece of fabric right here. Okay, and this is going to be your pull through tab. Okay, so I've already got my piece here, and you're also going to want to put, you don't have to, but it helps for stabilizing your towel topper thing. It will help it stay stabilized, okay, and be a little stiffer. Now this is a lightweight. You can maybe do it medium. It's harder to turn and things like that. I would not do a heavyweight interfacing, but I always use iron-on because it's just easier. I buy it pre-packaged at Walmart in their sewing section, or you can get it at, you know, Hobby Lobby, Joann's. I've got it in, I might have it in my Amazon storefront, which I receive commission on if you buy it there. So I do appreciate all you that buy stuff from my store directly because it helps me. But anyway, what you're going to do, you don't have to have it on this because this is going to be doubled. So the first thing I want to do is you're going to need your iron. You don't have to have an iron. It's very helpful, I'll just tell you. And I'm going to use my wool mat so you can see me, because otherwise I'd have to move my camera, and I don't have a... I'm in a different room again. I had to move. So I've got my stuff in here, and I don't have another camera doodad over there by the ironing board. But anyway, so what you're going to do, I hope this don't go through, is take your 8 by 8 piece, and I like to do this first. Just give it a quick iron. Now I'm going to fold it in half. Now, this is the same as the other. You just have to watch which way you put your fabrics, okay? So, once I got it in half, I know my half mark is there. So I'm going to unfold it, and I'm going to take the bottom and bring it to that crease I just ironed, and iron that. And then I'm going to bring this to this edge right here, and then I'm gonna iron that. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I get it real good. Now you want, I'm having a water leakage problem. You know that happens when you get older, don't you? Just kidding. Just a little funny right there. Okay, now you're gonna take and fold it in half and iron that. And when you do your interfacing, make sure your steam is off. You don't want to do your interfacing with steam. And I'll tell you, with your interfacing, this is what it is. It's just thin interfacing, and it has bubbles on one side, or dots, not bubbles, dots. And this is your sticky side. You put your sticky side down on your fabric, and I like to iron mine on, I do vinyl and stuff like that, so I have a heat press, so I have extra of these vinyl things, and I iron it on there because if you get sticky on it, you can just scrape it off, and that saves your ironing board and your iron. So anyways, this is just the interfacing. Now when you iron your interfacing on, just a tip, just push down and keep going, because if you move like this, and I did not touch that, it'll wrinkle, and it'll wrinkle your fabric. So you just want to touch. Now this is my experience. I've been through it, y'all, and I just touch it, and then my interfacing is on. Okay, so I ironed this and got this ready to sew. So I'm going to set that to the side. Now I'm going to take this fabric right here, and I'm going to fold it in the middle. Okay, I want the exact middle of this. And I'm not gonna iron it. I'm just gonna finger press it. Okay? You can light iron, but finger pressing works fine. Because I see my crease right there. This is a Frixion pen. I do have these in my Amazon storefront in the sewing part. They go away with heat. So I'm just gonna mark here, and I'm gonna mark here. Now you can't really see it because there's a brown flower there. And I'm going to make a line all the way across. This is just for me, okay? I prefer the line. You don't have to do that, and like I said, you don't got to be afraid with these pens because they'll go away. Okay, so we have that marked. You'll have to have that marked for the placement of that other thing. And then you know you want this will be your front right here. Okay, so this is your front. So I just put an X on there because I know that's where my towel goes. Okay, now I work with mine this way. I work from left to right, or right to left, whichever way you want to go. That's up to you. This is my beautiful Dollar Tree towel. Love, love, love it. You can do these with any towels, any fabrics, of course. I thought, my goodness, why can't I get that thing off? You know, when you're not on camera, you can do anything without a problem. No hiccups whatsoever. You just can't do them off camera. So anyway, take your towel, find the middle. So I'm just going to take my scissors, and while this is here, I'm going to pull towards me with my scissors to get the straightest edge possible, and I'm holding down here so that it doesn't move. Y'all, I'm also in this end room of my mobile home, and you can hear it's not like my other room. It was an addition off to the side. You can hear every little thing that goes on around here. But anyway, I'll save that for the next towel. So what you want to do with your towel is you want to mark. Now this depends on how big your towels are too. These from the Dollar Tree are 15 inches exactly. Okay, so I'm gonna find the middle, and I try to not get a lot of my design missing, because why would you want a towel with your design missing? You know what I mean? So I'm gonna mark this right here. So that's my middle. Now on this, I want to mark the middle of this right here. Now some people cut a notch out. I'm gonna erase my mark. Told you my mark is gone. But anyway, I'm gonna mark this. This is my middle right here. So I'll put a T right here because that means towel. My brain, y'all, my brain. So I lay this out, okay? This is how I size my towels, because every towel is different. You can't say measure this down, measure that down, measure this. You can't do it. So I line my middle with my middle that I just made here. And I hope I'm making sense to y'all. I really do. And then I'm gonna bring this over just until I'm gonna have, what is it? I wrote it down. I have a 3/8 seam allowance, okay, on this side. That's what I have, 3/8. You do what makes you feel comfortable, but I don't want it coming apart. So I will fold my towel to where it's right there. Now, if you want more towel, look, a dress looking thing, you can fold it down, but you're gonna cut, and you have to be mindful of where you're going down here. So I'm just going to do it this way, okay? I did it the other way, more dressy like. Now I'm going to come down just a hair, but not a lot where I have to cut. You really want it. You got to pay attention to this side. You don't want enough off right there. Right there's where I want it. And I'm going to take a long pin, and I'm going to pin my towel, not the fabric, just my towel. Okay, I pinned my towel. It's right there. So I'm going to do the other side. Now I'm making sure this is in the middle. Now you can pin the middle or clip the middle if you think you're going to miss it. Okay, so let me, if it shifts, but I'll just hold it down. So now I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Okay, just going to come over to where, ouch, to where I have very sharp pins. Y'all, very sharp pins. Why does that look even? I don't want that even. I want that out like that. I made it even when I picked it up and pinned it, because I don't know if I was not paying attention to myself or what was I doing. I don't know. Now I have to fidget with it. I'm sorry. I'm a fidgeter anyway. I have ADHD, so I'm a fidgeter person. Now I'm gonna put my pins in. My hands are so dry, they're sticking to these darn towels. I'm gonna go the same over here. Now I'm just eyeballing my 3/8 because I know about where I'm supposed to be. I've already done 2 or 3 of these. So I'm gonna take another pin and I'm gonna pin this right here. Okay, now I'm gonna unclip this and I am going to iron this, just because that will help it stay where I want it to stay. Now don't be moving nothing. I move stuff and I'm bad about it, moving it. But I'm missing like some of my, whatever that is, barn or whatever. And you see, I'm going to show you, I have come down a little bit, so I'm going to have to sew down here and not here, and I will mark that so I don't forget what I'm doing. Now my pins aren't ironable, so you be mindful of that. You don't want to melt your pins to your iron. I'm leaking water, but I'm just gonna steam my towel. You can hear me puffing out my air here. And don't get your iron too hot, because this is poly. I don't know what it is, but it'll melt. I mean, it really will melt, and then you'll be in a tizzy. So I think I'm done with my ironing. Now look at my mat. I hate ironing on there. I'm gonna have to get a board to go under here. But now your towel will fit right on here, and then you just size it up to, you know, even across here. And I'll show you how to get the perfect, I'll show you how to get your seam, and you can line your needle up. It's very easy. Let me put this over here, because I don't know if I'm going to need it again. So, what we want to do now is we want to go over here. Ugh. We want to go over here, and I'm going to sew around this and tack that down. And then I'm going to take my towel. Now you can, if you want it even, take your towel. Let me see what the front looks like. Yep, my hello falls right in the middle. Take your towel, take your ruler, go across through here and just line this up on the edge or on your thing and go right down. So I'm going to cut off a 1/2 inch. Okay, that's it, just a 1/2 inch. And that'll give me a straight piece across the front there. Just a 1/2 inch. Alright. Now, I'm going to sew while I'm over there what I can. So I'm going to take my towel. I'm going to put my towel. Now you know you want this edge right here, okay? So there's where my T is. And I'm going to line my towel up. I have to have it this way so I can see. And just make sure you get it even right here, okay? Because once I set my stitch, sometimes I'm not 3/8. It depends on how I folded it. But I'll show you how to get it to where you know where you're going. Alright. So I don't want these pins. I've lost my pin holder, y'all. So I'm going to take my pins and I'm going to pin this because I don't want this coming apart. Make sure you pin where this is so you know that, you know, you got to hold it down depending on which way you're sewing. Ugh, it gave me fits. Now I'm gonna go to the machine. I'm gonna take you with me and show you what I'm doing so far. Okay, now for this, you want to make sure your edges are, now I'll probably be a lot louder right now. I'll try to be quiet. Make sure your edges are exactly on each other perfectly, or as best as you can. And make sure you have coordinating thread. Now, I'm not sure about this angle. I may have to have another, I may have to do something different, but I hope you can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line, I use my presser feet, okay? When I'm sewing, I use my presser feet a lot. So to get a 1/8 or closest to a 1/8 as I can, sometimes I'll go out here and that don't give me the 1/8. So I'm going to go right on this line. I'm going to make sure my line is right here, okay? And I'm going to bring this over just a hair. And you can move your needle however you need to. But I see that's going to hit right where I need it. So I'm just going to sew down. You don't need to back stitch. Same thing to the other side, just to make it look better. So I'm lining it up right with the edge of my foot. These feet are awesome because they have a little hook right here, or a little cut, and it'll pull your thread in 9 times out of 10 and it won't get hung. I have these, I think, in my Amazon store. If not, I will try to remember to add them. So now I have that sewn, and I'll take care of those threads in a minute. So now I'm going to do the same thing with this edge, okay? I'm just barely, what I'm doing is, hold on one second. I'm tacking it down. And y'all, I am not talking. I'm not, look, I have these, and I put Velcro on here, and I glued this down with fabric tack. Oh, I'm not in the screen. I'm so sorry. I glued this down with Fabri-Tac, and I have a piece of Velcro on my machine, and I'll stick this to it and remove it when I want to hold my pins. I'll have to show you when I move my camera around or something. But I'm just going to base this down. Okay, all I wanted to do was just hold my towel still, okay? So let me take you back over here. Okay, so now what you want to do is you want to take this line, and I work this way, okay? Now, whatever side you want to show, which would be the right side. This would be the right side because my pumpkins are that way. This will be my right side because my pumpkin is, this would be my right side. I think. I don't know. I know this is my right side, so I'm going to do this side because I see more of my pumpkins anyway, and I really like that. So I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to pin it. And then I am going to pin this side. Now you want the side that you're going to see up, okay? And on this side, you want it just on this because you're going to be folding this and ironing it. You don't want it on it or on top of it. You just want it right there at it. So now you don't need to see. I'm just going to base this down so that I don't have to worry about it shifting anyway. And I'll be right back. Now don't be worried and think you messed up because this is this way. But you need that for turning. It'll flatten itself out and you need to get your towel under there. So now we have this, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to take your towel and you can clip it if you want to, but pull it in as close as you can. And I do clip mine just because I don't want it to flop back out and I sew it. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna pull this across through here, okay? And now you're gonna sew your towel inside. You're making like a burrito. We did this last time. Everything's the same as the last video except the way you put your doodad on. Okay, now I told you I was gonna show you how I figure out my seam allowance here. And for some reason, this one is a little bigger, maybe because the towel's on there. I'm not sure. But I'm going to pull just a hair and I'm going to even that up, okay? So now I'm going to put a pin here. And I'm going to put a pin right here. And then I'll add one in the middle. I just don't like shifting. That's just me. You can use your clips if you want to. That's up to you. Okay, make sure your towel is shoved in there. You do not want to catch your towel, okay? Make sure that is flat because you don't want it coming out either. Make sure that is together, okay? Pin it just to secure it. We're not going to sew here, okay? Now what I do is, you can feel your towel in here, okay? So I take my Frixion pin and I mark where my towel is. And you're just gonna go down just about maybe 2 inches, and that's it, because you gotta leave it open to pull. And then this one, I'm going to do the same. So what that is on my mat is right at that mark right there. So I'm just gonna mark it, because this is where I'll have to sew it. And then I'll come in. You don't want to go past your strap here, okay? So I do that on both sides because, like I said, your towel may be shifty or may be different, and then you'll sew over top your towel. This will ensure I don't sew on my towel, okay? I have to shove my towel in. It's out too far. Make sure when you're shoving, you don't shove this top in, because you need that where it's at. And this will help you also get right up against it. Lord, I don't know where I'm going. I'm going way down this thing. And then you do the same for down here. Okay. Now when I go over here, I'm just going to sew right down here. Go right down here. Across. Pivot and go right here, and then sew this right here, okay? I'm not going to take you over there to do that because it's just basic stitching, okay? Oh, when you get over there, wherever you feel comfortable with this at, bring your needle to your line, okay? So I'll put this on the edge of my presser foot, and then I'll move my needle to where this line is, and then I'll start sewing. Okay, so you should now have something that looks like this. And don't forget to clip your uglies. I mean, you won't see them, but they'll get in your way. I hate it when I'm reaching in there and they catch my fingers and get under my fingernails and all this other junk. And I just don't like the uglies. That's just me. Okay, so what you've done, if you've sewn this here, you've sewn this here, then you've sewn here, here, and here, okay? Make sure when you do this, you catch a good amount of your towel. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to pull your towel out of here, and hopefully you didn't sew it. Now, y'all, I had so much trouble over there at my machine. Don't clip your edges because you want this, it doesn't matter. You're going to sew it down. But anyway, anything that could happen went wrong. It sucked my stuff down in my bobbin area. My bobbin got hung. I had to cut it out, and then my thread, when I went back to sew it, my thread came out of the needle and I had to rethread my machine. I'm telling you, I'm glad I didn't take y'all over there because it was a tragic mess. You know how things happen. Shoot. But anyway, so now you got your towel in here. Look at that. Pull your towel down. Now you shouldn't have to pull, you know, like put something in there, you know, like a turning tool or whatever to poke your edges out, because it ought to come, when you drew your line, you sewed right where you needed to. when you drew your line. So you don't need to turn it. And this right here, you don't need to do that because it's right there. It's already, because that'll do it for you. Okay, this goes on this side. Yeah, this goes on this side. So what you're gonna do now is, I left a pin in my shirt. You're gonna iron this down real nice, and the interfacing helps this as well because it makes it stiffer to do that. So you pull it tight and then iron this straight to it, okay? Okay, now this is the tricky part, and we're gonna do our top stitching. Now you want this up because you gotta hold this out of your way. So what you want to do is I like to start on the corner, okay? And I'm gonna snip, sorry if that was loud, I'm gonna snip my threads poking out here. I don't know what they're doing there, but anyway, get that all out of the way. Okay, and now I'm going to make sure my thread's in the back, and I'm gonna go right here and I'm gonna do a top stitch, and it's just gonna be a small top stitch. Where am I gonna hit? I like to figure things out because I'm weird that way. Okay, right there. So you do yours wherever you want to do it, and you just start sewing. You back stitch here. Now when you get to this, you have to pick this up and you have to look under here. Now I know it's a pain in the butt, but you have to do this. Make sure you pull to get it flat. Make sure you get your hands out of the way too. When you get to the end, I like to hand crank until I get right where I need to be, put my needle down, and I'm gonna lift my presser foot and pivot. Now I'm going over here to see where I need to be, and I need to lift it up and scoot just a hair, and then I'll put this back down, keep this out of the way. Make sure you pull it. Put my needle down. Pivot. I don't know why this side is so much easier, but it is. Now if it won't go, you could pull this, but I have one of these things. And you just push and help it. It'll go away. It won't leave a hole in your fabric. Don't push too hard. You are done. Y'all do not for the life of me remember how I did this last time, but this way I'm gonna do this. Pretend this is an oven door. It's just a curtain rod, but it's my oven door. Okay, I use it in here to help me. So what you're gonna do is, this is the front, so you're gonna have the front here and the back of your towel here. You're gonna take your towel, put it over your oven door handle, pull your towel through your loop here. It's not hard, I promise. And then there you go. There's your towel. And that's the side I chose. So if you follow those directions, I got threads everywhere, but if you follow those directions, you'll have your oven towel just like that right there. Here's the 3 of them again, and I hope you like this video. You can spread your towel out however much you want to spread it out. Just make sure that you have enough room to trim your top. And I'll catch y'all next time. Remember, you are a blessing. Happy sewing. Goodbye. Y'all, I do not for the life of I do